January 28, 1994. On Air France Flight 3532, Captain Jean-Charles Duboc is en route from Nice to London. His plane is near Paris, flying at 39,000 feet. The airspace here is typically crowded, but today it's going to have one more aircraft than usual.
We are meeting with retired Air France Captain Jean-Charles Duboc, whose sighting in 1994 of an object over Paris was one of the most incredible stories in ufology.
Captain Duboc is telling his story for the first and only time on American television.
It was a very beautiful weather. We were approaching Paris, and the steward who was in the cockpit said, "Oh, a weather balloon."
So it was the steward who first said there's a weather balloon there,
Yeah.
and then the co-pilot who said there was something there, and that's what directed your attention.
After I saw it, yes, it was on our left, and we look at this object during 1 or 2 minutes.
Though Captain Duboc's steward and co-pilot initially think they've spotted a rogue weather balloon, they quickly change their minds. The object is far too large.
And it was at roughly the same altitude you were saying?
Oh, it's below us. It was below us.
Below you?
Below us.
But how many feet below you?
Oh, 4,000 feet. We are 39. It was about 35,000 feet. And so it was really surprising. The dimension was huge, absolutely huge, because the distance was about 25 miles, and at 25 miles you cannot see a plane.
When did you realize it wasn't a plane?
We all immediately identify this object as not a plane. It was different of a plane or a balloon or something. It was absolutely abnormal.
As the object moves towards them, they come to a shocking realization. What they're looking at appears to be a huge flying disc.
What's incredibly striking to me about Captain Duboc's sighting is he's a trained observer, being a pilot, and he was with two other people who witnessed this object. And it's apparently about 1,000 feet across, disc-shaped, in broad daylight. And that doesn't sound like a conventional aircraft to me.
It was red brown with a red color, very curious. And it was some kind of haze.
Captain Duboc describes the red-brown disc as having a strange haze or fuzziness at its edges. And as he watches, he says it appears to be banking at a 45-degree angle. He estimates its size to be between 800 and 1,000 feet, or more than 6 times the size of his own jetliner. But what happens next is even more surprising.
So after 1 minute, it became transparent and disappeared.
So did it disappear quickly or gradually become transparent?
Oh, he became gradually transparent.
It's like it dematerialized.
When the object seems to disappear, Captain Duboc, his co-pilot, and his steward realize they are dealing with something extraordinary.
Two of the most striking details to me are the huge size of that object. It wasn't the size of a plane, it was much larger. And then when the object seemed to dematerialize before his very eyes, what was the conversation in the cockpit of the plane about this?
Yes, it was. What was it saying? It's impossible to create such a huge ship, and which able to disappear like that with such a fuzzy characteristic, with this color and this appearance. We cannot do that.
Captain Duboc radios in his sighting immediately to Rennes Air Traffic Control in northern France. They confirm his sighting with radar from CODA, the operational center of air defense. Their radar registers a nearly 1-minute hit, which crosses the path of Captain Duboc's Air France flight and then disappears. Despite the surprising detail, Captain Duboc remained silent for 3 years after his sighting. Neither his co-pilot nor his steward make a report. But in 1997, he finally comes forward with his story. 2 years later, it becomes one of the top cases in the Cometa Report, a 1999 document put forth by an independent defense think tank and sent to the French government. The report uses well-documented sightings, such as Captain Duboc's, to make the case that UFOs need to be treated seriously and as a matter of national security.
Were you impressed by the conclusions of the Cometa Report that these were military issues that had to be addressed?
Yes, yes, I was very impressed. I realized it was beyond all everything I could imagine. It was really, really crazy. We cannot imagine the technology.
And that's the message of the Cometa Report itself, isn't it?
Yes.
The Cometa Report basically just says that we can no longer ignore the extraterrestrial
Exactly.
hypothesis.
Exactly.
The report concludes, quote, "These studies demonstrate the almost certain physical reality of completely unknown flying objects. They must be the subject of indispensable speculations and the development of prospective scenarios."